Hey YouTube, welcome back to Jerry's NBA Talk TV. I'm NBA Jerry, and thank you for watching. I told you guys that when we did the 30 teams in 30 days special, when I selected the correspondents, that I would have some of you guys do some dual commentaries. And I'm in the mood to do them. You know, I'm going to pick out some correspondents, and I got a very special guest on today. This young man is actually one of two of the correspondents for this team. He's a die-hard fan, and as you can see from his page and also his knowledge of his team, that he knows a whole lot about the organization. He's actually one of the correspondents for the New York Knicks, and he is KnicksNumber1Fan, and his name is David. How you doing, David?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
For those of the people that don't know, David's a young guy. How old are you, David?
I'm 15.
Okay, he's 15, but he's been a Knicks fan for a long time. Why don't you go ahead and tell people a little bit about your channel, you, and your relationship with the New York Knicks.
I'm gonna start with my relationship with the Knicks. I've been a Knicks fan for quite a few years. I remember I actually started off as a Cavalier fan, but my friends got me into it. Became a Knicks fan. I created my channel at first not to upload videos, but then I played around a bit, and I'm starting to upload a few Knicks basketball mixes, a few videos of where me and my friends go to the game, and we, you know, make some jokes. And, yeah, so future videos, I'm probably going to make some more Knicks mixes and have a lot of fun at MSG, bring you guys some videos.
So let's talk about the New York Knicks. You know, you guys made some big off-season moves. You guys are 500 right now. You guys have been streaking. So far, the first 18 games, tell me what you feel about the New York Knicks.
I think we're kind of underachieving a little bit. That's just my opinion. We dropped some games where I think we should have won. Our problem so far has been throughout the games not competing as we did in the first three quarters, and usually we slip in the fourth quarter, which is really not what we want, especially when we're trying to make the playoffs for the first time in God knows how long. So, yeah, but otherwise, there have been some players that stepped up that I really love, like Tony Douglas, Landry Fields, all the rest, and, yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, are you happy with Mike D'Antoni being your coach?
That is a good question.
The reason why I ask, I don't mean to cut you off. The reason why I ask, a lot of Knicks fans don't like him. Knicks fan 0407, he doesn't particularly like him. Shout outs to him. He's the other correspondent. A lot of my friends, because I live in New York State, and this is the closest team that we have, and a lot of people just don't like him. What's your feeling on him?
Me, honestly, I'm back and forth. One game I could be like, oh, he should be coach of the year. He's a great coach. He's playing, he's coaching us so well. And other days, I'm like, we need to fire him. I wish we signed Scott Skiles back. I think it was 2008. He was the other coach we could have signed when we fired Isaiah. I'm really back and forth on him. I mean, he's lucky right now because the team is playing such good defense, even though he's not a defensive coach. And I don't know. I mean, I really think he needs to coach more consistently, kind of create more of a steady team that we know what we're getting every night. And because right now it's just surprising us. There's some games where we should have won, some games that we should have lost, and it's just back and forth. And Mike, I'm really not sure about him. I'm going to go with, I'm kind of stuck in the middle with him. We'll see, man.
Yeah, that's a pretty good assessment. Now, you live in New York City.
Yes.
And you go to New York Knicks games. Tell us how it's like to actually go to Madison Square Garden, to the Mecca of basketball, and actually sitting in attendance of a New York Knicks game.
Wow. I feel so bad for people that can't go to Madison Square Garden if it's for a Knicks game, if it's for anything. Let me tell you, the only other arena I've been to watch a basketball game is the Izod Center where the Nets used to play. But Madison Square Garden, oh my goodness, the atmosphere is so great. We had 2 terrible years the past 2 years with losing teams, and yet when I walk in there, everyone is hyped. They love it. the halftime shows, the timeouts, everything. Just being there, it's such a great atmosphere. It's exciting every time. It never gets old. Never gets old.
That's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
What you feel so far about Amari Stoudemire and Felton?
Amari and Felton. Their pick and roll game was supposed to be a huge deal. Like that play was supposed to define their success. They haven't really been running it often, and it hasn't been working really. But both, like Felton, is really surprising me. Felton, I never thought he could show up and play this well. Like props to him for his game. But Amari Stoudemire, he's scoring the ball, but sometimes I feel during games he tries too hard. He's turning it over too much, and he's not really getting the rebounding numbers that he got in Phoenix. So, yeah, but he stepped it up on defense. He stepped it up scoring, and Felton's doing a great job overall.
I actually picked him as probably one of the most improved players coming into the preseason because I knew he would be good and he would flourish under Mike D'Antoni's system. I knew he wasn't going to be like Steve Nash or anything in the system, but I definitely think he was going to do good. Now, tell me about some surprises on your Knicks roster. Tell me about some players that a lot of the national people don't know about, like maybe Landry or Chandler or something like that. Tell me about some surprises and some players maybe that we don't know about.
I'll start off with Landry Shields because really, I honestly did not know who he was when we drafted him. I'm like, who is this guy? And he has shocked me so far. For those of you who don't know, he doesn't do something terrific, but he does everything well. In the words of Walt Clyde Frazier, he's so fundamentally sound. He hustles for the ball. He could play defense. He could shoot. He can drive. He's just a perfect basketball player in his own right. And that's the kind of player that any team could benefit with, no matter what kind of team you have. And he's playing well under Mike D'Antoni's system. He runs a fast break very well. That's one skill I really like about him. As for Wilson Chandler, he's been quite a surprise. I thought he was kind of going to have kind of a repeat of last year, just to score and not do much. This year, I see more of his offense is much improved. He has this a step-up jumper he's starting to make. He's taking it to the hole. He's playing some great defense. He's blocking shots. He's really versatile, which I like. And he could play, like, I think probably 4 positions on the floor, which is pretty good.
Like Turiaf being on the team.
Ronnie Turiaf, when we first signed him, I thought he would be the starting center, but Mozgov stepped in. And but then he started to not play so well. So when Turiaf stepped in, what I really like about him, he's like David Lee in his first few years. He's energetic. He doesn't do a whole lot of offense, but he plays great defense. He's intimidating in the paint, which I like. You know, when you come inside, you don't want to see a guy like him in there. He blocks shots. He hustles for the ball, and you know he gets the Knicks running a bit, which I like.
Okay. Now, when I asked you about a surprise, I thought maybe you'd talk about Andy Routens because I know you like him. Tell me, I actually know about him too because I live in Rochester and he used to, you know, I'm right next to Syracuse. So tell me about Andy. Tell me about Andy Routens.
Well, like I said, I didn't know who Landry Fields was, but I knew who Andy Routens was, and I'm like, oh, Andy should be good. He's a 3-point shooter. He should be okay. But it turns out he's the most amazing player in the NBA right now. I mean, no one can match up to him.
Yeah. I hear you. Obviously, you guys are not a championship team right now.
No.
And you talked about that in your video, the 30 teams in 30 day video. You did a great job with that.
Thank you.
For you yourself, your expectations of being a correspondent, you know, a New York City native and a New York Knicks fan, what would be what would be a successful season for you for the New York Knicks this year?
For me, making the playoffs. And man, if we make the playoffs, it's going to be a good day for me. It's just we've had so much losses in the past years, and then just good started to come. You know, we got Mike D'Antoni. I was just so happy that morning. Then we got Amari Stoudemire. I was really happy that morning, and things seem to be coming together this year. So making the playoffs is definitely a huge goal, and I'm sure every Knicks fan in New York will be happy.
Yeah.
But hopefully, years coming, we'll get Carmelo and Chris Paul, and hopefully form some kind of championship team, and that'll be the overall goal for the next maybe decade.
Yeah. Well, good luck to your New York Knicks.
Thank you.
David, you're doing a great job as being a correspondent. I really appreciate it. And anybody that else, as far as my correspondents or anybody wants to do a dual com, just let me know. Please check out KnicksNumber1Fan page. Please rate, subscribe, check him out. He's got a great page. And if you're not a New York Knicks fan, you still can subscribe to him and check him out because he has great insight on the NBA. So, David, thanks a lot for coming on the show today.
No problem. Thank you.
Take care of yourselves. I'll talk to you soon. And don't forget, if you can believe it, you can do it. Thanks for watching. You guys know I appreciate it. And remember, folks, always treat people how you want to be treated, and everything will be okay. This is NBA Jerry, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.